If you've been thinking about starting dating apps, but you don't really know how to put up your profile to attract good men that are looking for marriage and for something long term, then today's video is for you. Because I want to share my profile that helped me attract only marriage minded men, though I have not put marriage in my profile whatsoever. And there were, I think, like two or three men I accidentally matched with, and they wanted something casual. And the first message they sent me was, "Hey, just to let you know, I'm looking for something casual. Like, are you sure you want the same?" So obviously something in my profile already helps them to see that I am looking for something long term. And I want to share that with you to give you some inspiration. This is definitely not like foolproof and this is what you need to do. It's more like inspiration so you can take a little bit with you and just have good experiences. Like I only had good experiences with dating apps, and you can totally have the same and go on amazing dates with amazing men. Okay, I'm Anna, and this is Love Diary, Reflections, and Activations. Yeah, Reflections and Activations on love and dating. I'm doing rotational dating, so I do date for marriage. So, not even to be a girlfriend long term, but for actually getting engaged and marriage. And that's why I also have like a different approach when it comes to dating apps in general. We already talked about that in the last live stream. But let's just get started with what I do with my profile, because I've studied it for like 2 or 3 years. Just different mentors, some paid containers, some free over the internet. And you don't have to do that. I already did that for you, because there's definitely a strategy behind how to set up your profile to appeal to the right man. Your profile is basically the first impression a man gets of you. He needs to see who you are. Obviously, he only gets to have a glimpse of that because a profile cannot capture your whole life. And it's the same with a man. Like when you look at a profile from a man, this is not his whole life, this is not his whole personality, but you do get an impression of what their life is about and if you can see yourself with this person. And so it's very important to give that some thought on how you present yourself, because it helps you to, like just in my case, some of the men that are looking for short term deselected themselves just based on my profile. Okay, so you want to be authentic. It's not about like having those golfing pictures or you're on a yacht or whatever. If this is not actually your life, that's very inauthentic. And yeah, maybe this attracts like men who have a lot of money, but if this is not you, like you don't want to play a character, you want to be yourself, and yet appealing and showing a side of you that attracts men that are looking for something long term. Now, with the first thing that's very important are the photos. Obviously, that's the first glimpse they get of you. It's your photos and your energy. And you want to have around, I think I have 4 to 5 pictures. And there's an order to this. So the first picture I have is just a profile, like a portrait. So you just see my face and, well, I can show you. Maybe this is helpful. Just let me know if you can see that. Can you see that? This is my first profile picture. Okay, right. This is my first picture. So you just see my face, you see my eyes, and yeah, just very feminine, right? I have pearl earrings, I have a turtleneck, and you want to show the least amount of skin possible. So the more skin you show, it's very likely that you then have like some weird messages and men are looking for something short term. Okay, so it's very classy and elegant. That's the first I have. Obviously, you want something that's authentic to you. Like if you don't like turtlenecks at all, then you don't have to wear them. But that's just to give you some inspiration, right? The second one is a full body picture. Let's see here. This is like the full body picture I have of myself. It's not full body because I was trying to make a picture of myself. I was like, there was no one that helps me. So if you have a friend with a good, decent camera, then it will be like a little bit easier. But you want to show first your face, right? Then you want to show your full body so they can just see like how's the fit. And in the same, right, in the picture, I don't really show that much skin, right? Now the third picture I have are hobbies. So for example, right, I'm playing the guitar, I'm a singer, and this is a big part of my life and also of my dream and vision where I want to go with my life. That's why I showcased this. So I played the piano, I played the guitar. I had some of those pictures, so just hobby pictures, something you're passionate about that you do on a regular basis, so they can picture themselves in your life. If you don't have those very interesting hobbies, maybe you just like to bake or cook. Like you can definitely have a picture like that. It's, I think, very appealing to certain kinds of men. If you have just a home picture and if this is very authentic to you, then you can totally do that as well. Or if you're in the gym, maybe you have like a picture. If you're doing sports, like maybe not in a sports bra, right? Maybe with a jacket. I also have like this whole a workout set with like this Lululemon jacket where I just, zip it up very high. That's something you can do. If you like to go for walks, maybe have a picture of you walking or reading books. I also have one picture of me just in my, no, on my couch, right? And I was just there reading a book. I love self-development books. So I think it was like an Atomic Habits book that was just like, yeah, it looked a little staged to be honest, but I'm sitting there usually and just read these kinds of books. So the whole intention behind that is to give him like a clear picture on how you look. Oh, one thing you can also do is maybe if you're in a cafe or in a restaurant, you can make a picture that feels like they would be on a date with you. That's also very nice. And you want to have around like 4 to 5 pictures. Maybe you love to travel, then you can pick like one travel picture, like not 3 or 4, just one, because it's not like your whole life is traveling, right? And then it gives like the wrong impression. So give it some variety and showcase your life, be authentic. And what I am like aware of is I don't necessarily post pictures with me like being in nature so much, because then usually men ask you, oh, do you want to go on a walk for the first date? And I like a casual first date, but like a walk is like a little, I do that with friends. Like a walk, I'm not really available for this. So always keep in mind, okay, how am I portraying myself and how will this come off? And least amount of skin possible for you. Right, of course, wear things that you actually wear, but be aware of that and maybe choose something that's just more covered up. That's for the photos. Now, the next thing you need to do is, where is it? You have a bio. So something about yourself, and you want it to be short and very specific. So to give you an example, I try to, it's in German because I'm living in Germany and I'm on German app. So I try to translate that very quickly. So you have just an example. So mine is, I'm a reincarnated water mermaid and I like to sing with my water boiler because I do that. And my friends describe me as a fairy that's, how do you say that? My friends describe me as a fairy that's just, I don't know, flying through nature, but I don't like to go hiking. I'm already like being very clear here and very honest. I don't like to go hiking, but I love to dance rumba to Latin American rhythms. And at the evening, you will find me on my piano or reading a book. Right now, I'm reading Atomic Habits. Like, what book can you recommend to me? So there's a clear structure to this. I'm introducing myself. You can also say, hi, my name is da 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 da. I'm from blah, 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 blah. It's just like when you meet someone in the streets, like you kind of introduce yourself. So that's also a possibility to just start that bio text. Can you see that it's very specific to me? Like I'm talking about being a mermaid because I love the ocean, right? I'm talking about being a mermaid, that I'm singing with my water boiler, like a little secret where I like don't tell anyone that I do that. So I already give them a little bit of this. Now we share a secret. And then I don't only talk about myself, I also talk about, hey, friends say this about me. So it's like good storytelling. I'm not the only character in my life, right? In a good movie, you have the main character, but they also have maybe a husband, they have friends, they have pets. I don't know what your pets are going to say about you, but just showcase that you have a full life. And that's also one opportunity to just say, hey, my friends say this and this and this. And I actually asked my best friend, like, how would you describe me? So I have something for my profile. So that's a little tip. And I'm also being a little humorous where I don't like hiking. Like I'm just being honest to you. So they don't take me hiking for dates because some men like that. But it's humorous, like usually men then reach out to me, hey, why don't you like hiking? Like, what's going on? Did you have bad experiences? Like, no, I just don't like it. And then I say what I do like, right, with the Roomba, with dancing, and the kind of books that I'm reading. And I give them a prompt at the end. So the whole intention of dating apps is to spark a conversation. It's not about finding your husband right now, and I already talked about that in the previous live, where I shared with you the things that I'm doing differently on the apps, and I think that's why I only met like those amazing men. And what was my thing? No, I lost my train of thought. Where was I? I was like so passionate. Oh yeah, the whole intention of the app is to start a conversation. It's not about to find your husband or anything. It's to have a little bit like a chit chat, to text a little bit, to get a feeling if you're kind of aligned, and then get off the apps as quickly as possible. And you also want to have very clear boundaries, what I talked about in the last live stream where I just shared what I do differently on the apps and why it's working so good for me. So you want to give them in your profile, in your bio, different starting points. Like, where can they have a conversation with you about topics that you actually enjoy talking about, so you don't always get hi pretty, like hi beautiful, but actually like something you can talk about with them. And my whole profile is set up like this. So in my bio, I give them one question, like, what book can you recommend to me? You only like I only give them one because the male brain is a little bit like very focused, right? I think like one specific task that they need to execute. So I give them one question, not too many, just one in the end of the whole bio, because it's like, hey, what do I want from you? It's like the CTA, right? If you're in marketing, or social media, at the end you always have a CTA, like what do you want him to do? It's like, oh, I want you to reach out to me. Here's the question, and that can be very specific to you and what you want to talk about. But yeah, a lot of men just take that question and they're glad that they have something to now approach you with, other than just like, hi, beautiful, like you look pretty. Now they know can talk about books with you. And it also helps you to filter out men, for example, that don't read any books. What for me is, it's more important that someone is into like developing themselves and expanding their mind. And there are also a lot of men who don't read and they usually don't take this prompt. And yeah, then I already know, okay, we don't really have like the same direction in life and different values, and that's like a good thing to also filter out men, but give them something, the right man, give them something to reach out to you. Now, one thing I also like to do, and that helped me tremendously to get off the apps very quickly, because a lot of people are stuck in this texting trap, like you text for weeks and weeks and weeks and they don't ask you out. um, there's, of course, you want to have a boundary. Like I have this boundary with like after 7 days, texting for 7 days. Then I just draw my boundaries, tell them I prefer to go on real dates and I'm not really a big texting person. Then they usually step up what they already asked me out within that week. But the other thing I also do, and I recently tried that out on Hinge and was working very well, I wrote into my profile, like, don't be mad at me if I don't like to be on the apps for too long and texting. I just prefer meeting casually or just by chance in like a cute cafe. And a lot of men reached out to me saying, hey, I'm not a big texter either. That sounds like amazing. Like, when do you have time? Do we want to like schedule something? And that's like their first message to me. So they asked me out straight away. Just with this prompt, because there are also many men who don't like texting as well. They're not good at this. They are way better than meeting someone in person. And when you write something like that into your profile, like it's inviting, right? I don't say, don't dare like to text with me for 3 weeks and then don't ask me out for a date. Like that's yikes. No, that's also something you want to be positive in your dating profile and like show them what you want, what you prefer. It comes off a little weird when there's something negative, and that goes vice versa. Like I feel the same with men, right? If they write somewhere, hey, I only want someone who's serious, stop leading me on. Like if you lead me on, like then don't text me. And I'm like, I don't want to text you now. Like I'm looking for something long term, but it feels off, right? There's probably like bad experiences that I haven't fully healed and integrated yet. So it's the same for women. Like you show them what you prefer, And in this little prompt that I filled out, where I talked about, hey, I don't like texting so much. I prefer meeting right in person. I prefer meeting you by chance, like a little floaty, right, by chance in a cafe. And then they reach out to me, hey, yeah, where are you going to be, like where we can meet by chance? So it's kind of funny. That works very well, but you want to keep it positive and like lead into direction, and you can just try that out. Like it was working very well for me recently to just put on my profile I'm not a big texter, and then all the men like flocked to me who don't like texting either. So that maybe can be helpful if you're someone who is trapped in this like texting for weeks, or you don't, or you want to avoid it like from the beginning on, then you can put that in your profile if you like to. I also give them different ideas for dates. So also with my pictures, right, you see me doing music, and I love going to concerts and listening to classical music. So just when they go back to my profile, like let's say we texted a little bit and then we want to go on a date, or even if we've been on a few days and they're looking like for new ideas what to do with me, sometimes they ask. They always like make sure that I like what they've planned. But just to get some ideas, they go back to my profile and then they see, oh, she likes classical music, so maybe we can go on to a concert. What I also write in there is, I love meat. I'm carnivore, so I mostly eat meat. So I'm the opposite of a vegan. I used to be vegan for a part of my life, like a few years, but now I'm more carnivore. And I know that a man who is strictly vegan, we have different values, and it would be a little difficult. So one thing I write in my profile is, like there's a prompt on Tinder, what's your talent? And I write my talent is to eat a lot of meat. So what do they know from this? Oh, she's eating meat, and oh, like maybe I can take her to a steakhouse, right? Or with, I'm a water mermaid, like I'm this water nymph and I love to sing with my water boiler. They already know, oh, I think she likes water, and a lot of men reach out, oh, I love water too, and it's so funny to want to be a mermaid. And then they have this idea, oh, maybe I can go like on a boat tour with her, or go swimming, something like this. So in your profile, when the things you fill out with your words, you can also give them ideas where to take me. For example, I love going on cafe, like on a coffee date on the first date. I just tried different things out for the first date, and I prefer it. I'm also open for other things, but I prefer that. It's just casual and just easy. I don't have to spend too much time with someone and just see if the vibe is there. And so when I give them the prompt, like I don't, right, I'm not a big texter. I'd rather meet you in a cafe by chance. And I already know, oh, maybe she wants to go at a cafe for the first date. And they ask me like, in what cafe do you want to meet? Right? So you help them get an idea of what would you like. So just create your profile in a way, hey, as if they go back, like write a little bit what you like in between the lines. That's also very nice and helps the man as well to plan something that you will actually enjoy. Okay, there are always different prompts on the dating apps that you can fill out. So you usually have, like on Tinder, you have your pictures, then you have your bio about you, and then you have like some prompts. Like take some time and answer some of the prompts, because right, they help you to showcase a little bit more of yourself, helps you to, like, sort of men that they deselect themselves and other men that step up and now they have an idea what you like for a date, or when do you like to be asked out. That's very helpful. And in those prompts, like make sure that there are, what I'm aware of is I showcase a little bit different sides of me. So there's one prompt where I'm a little more humorous. Like, what's my greatest talent? I'm really great at eating meat. I just like a little fun. Then I have one that's more self-reflected and shows that I'm like a deep person. I think the one is what is um maybe like a game. I think there was like this one prompt, like what game can I beat you in? And then I wrote, well, I'm very good at acknowledging and just really receiving those little pleasures in life. And then I'm very specific. I write, I just love if there's like a fresh like meal in front of me, or a little flower next to the streets, or just a snowflake. So I make it very visual, and that shows, hey, okay, this is a person she can receive. She has depth. Like there's some. Can you see that? Like it gives them like a little bit more of this. Ooh, like that's someone I want to be with a person that like enjoys all those tiny things in life. Like that's nice. I think I can please her very well. So something where humor is more fun, flirty, but also something that shows that you have some depth. And yeah, so showcase a little bit of a variety that you are this person they can have fun with on a date, but also someone they can see spending a life with and who is like a woman in their life and not just like a placeholder or someone to just go on a few dates with. And a lot of men give me just based on my profile, come to me and say, hey, like your profile looks like someone you can do your life with. I would really like to get to know you. So I always get that feedback from my profile. Now, is there something else for profiles? As well, if you guys have any questions, just write them in the chat. Mm, I think that's mostly it. The profile is not that complicated. Maybe one side note for the pictures. High quality is really key here. And if you have the opportunity, I was just not in that place when I started going on dating apps. But I heard a lot of recommendation that it's good to have professionally done pictures that really helps you like to stand out and just showcase quality, right? If you want quality men, you also need like quality pictures. So that's one thing. You can also include a black and white picture. I heard from this one dating coach that they have 200% or 300% more likes, like black and white pictures. I have not tried that out yet. I felt like all the black and white pictures I had, they were like a little weird. But yeah, that's something you can play around with as well. But high quality and just, right? It depends a little bit what's your style. I just naturally have this more like modest and classy style, so I showcase that obviously in my pictures. But what can help as well is just to wear feminine colors and also positioning. Wait, so for the colors, what I want to say, I wear bright colors, right? Like this, or just something more light pink or blue. I don't wear any white, black, or beige in my pictures. In real life, I do, but I wear colorful, bright clothes when I'm on dates and also on the dating apps to create polarity because like those neutral colors, they're neutral for a reason. Like men wear them as well. Of course, men sometimes wear pink too, but just from the colors, there's already like this, ooh, she's very feminine. And that's also what I get from a lot of men, either on the dating apps, like you look very feminine, or oftentimes at the end of the second date, like first date, that happened a few times now to me that they look at me, you're so feminine. Like, how so? Just everything. And obviously that's also my behavior, but on the apps I have white the colors. Wait, where's my picture again? Um, I like just that pinky color. I just love that's one of my favorite colors. If you don't like pink, like wear something else, but it's better than wearing like something beige or black because that's just gender neutral and it's nicer if you have something more bright. There is polarity just in the way you dress up, and that's just a nice tool. And also from positioning, can you see that I'm not looking in the camera like this? No, like this, right? So obviously I'm not looking like completely to the side, but what you want to do is like have a little bit of like the slight angle. And what that does subconsciously, I learned from one of my mentors, is it creates a little bit of this mystery, like subconsciously. It's not something men would consciously say, oh, I looked at your picture and you looked so mysterious. No, but subconsciously that also creates some polarity, right? Compare this to this. Like now there's something like there's a part that I don't see. And that's kind of what happens subconsciously. And men really love mystery. One man just told me I love like if there's some mystery and I don't know everything and I really want to discover it. So it also helps like to lean in a little bit. And also what I want to add to the pictures is you want to smile with your teeth. Like no and no duck face. Like I think the way sometimes women use photos other women would like, but not necessarily men. It's the same with men. Like oftentimes men put on pictures on a profile where I'm like, I don't freaking care that you have like a fish that's that big, but I know from a man's perspective that would be very impressive. So oftentimes men post pictures that are more like for the male audience, but they want to attract women. And as women, we sometimes post pictures that like other girls would say, "Oh, girl, you look like classy, like you look so hot." but it's not really what men are looking for. So what I always the biggest difference is really with like smiling with teeth. It just gives that warmth, and your feminine energy and your life force energy is really coming through. That's why men just love when you have a beautiful smile. And that's also always something that compliment me, like your smile like was very intriguing and I had to write to you. Yeah. So that's just a little side note, something I wanted to add to the pictures. Now to dating apps in general, one thing I'm recently like just noticed, the first weeks are usually challenging. Like I had a break for a couple months and now I'm back on the apps. I think I've been there for 2 weeks, and I've also found myself in this like, oh my god, I'm so exhausted. And then I have like all those men who ask me on dates, but I don't really make it on a date with them, and like just weird chats. And then I reminded myself, like, okay, wait, like, why was that working so well all the time? Like, what's happening now? And then I remembered when I was on Tinder or Parship, it was the same. Like, the first 2, 3, or 4 weeks, it just takes a while before there's momentum. But when you survive like the first weeks and you find your own rhythm, then it becomes easier. And that's when like the quality men come more through. I don't really know why this is so, but it's just, I think, general in life, we just need to get started with something, and then over time there's momentum being built. That's why it sometimes can be a little frustrating if you have breaks with dating, because then you kind of, I don't think that I start from zero, but it's a little bit like you start again and you need to build that momentum again on the dating apps, definitely. That's been my experience. And so if you're in this, like you just started on the apps and the first 1 or 2 weeks were like, I don't know, like there were some men ghosting me, and then we had some dates going on, but like planned, but then he didn't reach out to me anymore. In the first couple of weeks, like that's normal. And then the goal is always to go like on a few very high quality dates, right? One of the reasons I ended up with men who only wanted marriage was also because I filtered them very well. What I went through, like my process in the life before. But your profile definitely helps you to give like a first impression, just with those like 2 or 3 men who wanted something more casual. And then they came to my profile and I accidentally matched with them because I did not like, sometimes I swipe and then I forget that they were not looking for something long term. Like sometimes accidentally that happens. But their first message was like, do you really look for something long term, short term? Because your pictures, right, they kind of look like someone long term. So it just gives a first impression and helps you to only match with men who are also looking for something more long term. And it's just when you meet someone in the streets, there's just this energy about you and the way you carry yourself, and you can tell that from certain pictures. To be very aware like how that looks, and maybe if you have some like men in your family that have like the kind of values you want and that are inspiration for you, maybe you can like give them your profile and just like let them give you a little bit of feedback, like how that looks to you. Or maybe some of your girlfriends that are already married. So I wouldn't necessarily do that with some that are struggling with dating apps, right? That's not necessarily where you can get good advice from. But it's really this whole, it just needs to align, and he needs to feel like, okay, I can see myself in your world, and you want to be very authentic, but yet it's a little curated for the kind of man you want to speak to. And of course, energy always wins. So why I ended up with so many marriage-minded men is because for me, this is just the floor. Like it's not even the standard. And I'm just so clear in that I want someone to spend my life with and be just 100% in it on both ways, and just, it's for life. And because I'm so clear in this and I can't even imagine being a girlfriend for many years, it's just what I attract, right? Because energy always comes first. And even if you have the most perfect profile, if your energy is still a little off around men, then this will still be reflected to you. So there's no guarantee, but obviously there's always some strategy. Always has first the energy and the intention, and then the embodiment, and then the structure and a little bit of a tactic on the apps. So that was just about the dating profiles. Are there any questions for that? Or generally to like for the apps, if there's something coming up for you? Okay, then I think, oh, okay, there's one message. Let me take a look. It makes a lot of sense what you're saying. Thank you. Okay, so everything makes sense so far. Maybe then I just like give you, if you want to um, set up your profile today, maybe I just give you a little bit of a checklist. Yeah, this is going to be like a shorter life, right? Because it's basically just like the strategy on how to put on the profile. But I want to give you a little bit the step by step. So if you want to do that straight away and you're like one of those women, no, I'm going to make it happen right now, then here's what you can do. So look for photos that you already have. If not, take a girlfriend or best, like book an appointment with a professional photographer. Like I will definitely going to do that when I'm more in a position in my life where I feel like, okay, now I'm ready for marriage. I will definitely get just for the experience, I think it's also nice to have professionally done pictures. So you want to look for 4 to 5 pictures, one where you can clearly see like your face as portrait, one where you see full body, and then 2 to 3 like with your hobbies. Give it some variation. Like don't pick like 3 travel pictures, right? Just 3 different pictures of different hobbies you have, how you like to spend your time, and that's also like appealing and giving men an idea on what they can do with you on a date, maybe, what you would enjoy. Then you have the bio that you write about yourself. You want it to be very specific to you and you introduce yourself there. And you can, maybe you can, go to ChatGPT or Claude. Claude is better to just help to craft it, like that there's good storytelling and you're just very specific about yourself, a little humorous, and also make sure that's good grammar and your sentences, like there's some variation. It's not always I dot 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 I dot dot dot. No, I have like I am dot dot dot. My friends say dot dot dot. In addition dot 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 dot. Okay, so you want to showcase that you're also like intelligent and you can like write good text. Okay, and you want to give them like one prompt in the end, like one question that you would just love to have like a conversation about. You can also put in your text or your bio that you're not a big texter, and you can also write something like, um, I'm not a big texter, so if you want to know more, like let's just ask me out for a date or something like that. It can be a little playful as long as it feels inviting and not like mandatory. Just like a little flirty, give a little bit about yourself and give them that one question what you would actually like to know, or you think you can just have a casual conversation about that. Only one prompt. We don't want to overwhelm men. Just give them one. The other prompts on the dating apps for you, just one that's more humorous and fun and flirty, and also 1 or 2 that showcase that you're more, that you're also reflected, that you're intelligent, that you have family values. You can also talk about your family there and what's very important to you. So to show that you have a wide range as a woman, that's very attractive. Right. I think that's all right. And then just be aware that it takes a few weeks and a good filter system. And if you need help with this, like go to my last live stream. I'll link it down below, I guess. If you need some help, like where to swipe, where not to swipe, like how to get on a date quickly, that's what I covered back then. Yes. That's all. So happy dating apping. Have a lot of fun with that. I know it's challenging in the beginning. It still is for me, and I've, been on dating apps for a while, but after a break, you always need to build some momentum. But now you're actually better off than most people because they never spend time thinking about how to use them strategically and how to put up a profile that's actually appealing to the right kind of man and yet being very authentic. So you're already really well off, and you got this. It's just one tool how you can find amazing men, have good experiences, and ultimately maybe meeting your husband. Like you never know. So wishing you an amazing day and fun with the apps. Bye.